Tonight, as COVID cases trend upward once again, leading research on the effectiveness of the vaccine is taking place right here in Minnesota. Plus, how a Wisconsin community is stepping up to make sure those without a home get the help they need. And a Duluth man is focusing on gun safety with a new invention. We'll show you what he's created and why he says it's necessary.
From CBS 3 Duluth, this is the CBS 3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. Thanks for joining us. Tonight we begin with some troubling COVID-19 news. Today, the state of Minnesota reported almost 4,000 new cases of the virus. That's the most new cases in a single day since last December. St. Louis County reported 161 new cases. Itasca reported 59 and Carlton reported 24. Lake and Cook counties both reported cases in the single digits. Another 40 deaths were also reported, making Tuesday the largest number of deaths reported in a single day since mid-January. Despite rising case numbers, we have new information to share on how well COVID-19 vaccines work in those who have already been infected. As Susan Elizabeth Littlefield shows us, that cutting-edge research is coming from right here in Minnesota.
Between the football games and the in-person classes, the U of M is bustling once again after a rough couple of years. These school psychology grad students were able to make it through without getting COVID, and they are proudly vaccinated.
It's not just about protecting ourselves, it's about protecting other people too.
I would definitely encourage everybody to get the vaccine.
Even though they didn't get sick, 725,000 Minnesotans did test positive for the virus, leaving some to wonder if those who do have natural immunity actually need to get vaccinated. Turns out the answer to that question was actually discovered here on the U of M campus.
We wanted to know, how does the immunity you get from the vaccine compare to the kind of immunity you get from the infection itself?
And the results surprised this world-renowned researcher. People who had not had COVID and got the Moderna or Pfizer vaccines got solid protection from the virus. But people who have had COVID got 6 times that protection just from the first dose of the vaccine.
Many of them probably don't need that second shot. But we found about 25% of them did benefit. And because there are so few side effects, why not get that?
As for those who had COVID and think natural immunity is enough, he says to think again.
You might not be fine. And this is going to be a serious insurance policy for you to give you solid protective immunity.
So what would you say is the bottom line here?
Get vaccinated, whether you've had the prior infection or not.
Dr. Jenkins also says those who have had COVID and are fully vaccinated with Moderna or Pfizer may have so much protection they will not need a booster shot. The study did not include the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Minnesota's governor is calling on lawmakers to pass new measures to slow the pandemic's 4th wave. Governor Tim Walz says the ideas came from conversations with healthcare, education, and long-term care workers. The measures include vaccine and testing requirements for teachers and school staff, notifying parents when there's a COVID case at their child's school, offering rapid testing to students, and mask requirements. Walz is also calling for measures to address hospital capacity. He said it's unacceptable there are kids in the ICU with COVID when there are effective ways to prevent the spread, but everyone needs to do their part.
The 2 most effective things that we can do, especially for our kids on this, is get them tested early and wear the mask. And of course, the single most important thing we can do is continue to take the vaccines.
The governor's plan was met with pushback by Republican state lawmakers. Walz says he's open to their ideas, but doing nothing means people could die and schools could shut down. He asked lawmakers to pass the prevention measures during a special session intended to also decide how to distribute $250 million in hazard pay for frontline workers. St. Luke's is canceling certain surgeries as the hospital copes with extremely high patient numbers. Hospital reps made that announcement today. They're postponing all non-urgent and non-emergency surgeries that require an overnight stay. They say it will impact fewer than 20 people this week and will help them care for their sickest patients. The hospital says nearly every other care center in the state is facing similar challenges. And the COVID situation is not much better in Wisconsin. The state reported over 3,500 new cases Monday, which is the most recent reported data. They have also reported 11 new COVID-related deaths. Well, Dave is here for a quick look at the weather. Dave, you mentioned quite a bit of fog down by the lake, but it really was a beautiful morning, at least for me up north.
Well, even here in the middle part of the region closer to the lake, it became very nice in the afternoon. But tonight we're going to play the same game. Your neck of the woods, away from the lake, maybe a clear sky. But by the lake, we're still looking at a dense fog advisory, although the scope has narrowed down. Now it's only Minnesota and Lake Superior. But overnight tonight through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning from Carleton County up the North Shore, do travel cautiously for the morning commute. It'll be foggy again. And if you're doing a late night boat run out there on Lake Superior, that'll be foggy too. So navigate carefully. Here's the upper Midwest picture. High pressure is leaving after a couple of days. A pair of lows from the west and one from the south are burbling towards us here to bring us a rain chance that may start tomorrow. How long will that rain chance last? Once it starts on Thursday with a mere 20 to 30% chance, it could bump up to 50 for the weekend. And we'll talk about when sunshine will return in more detail in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. Ashland, like many other cities around the country, has seen an increase in homelessness since the start of the pandemic. Now, an organization focusing on community outreach is hoping to help solve that problem. CBS 3's Quinn Gorham spoke with local leaders to see what they're doing to help some of Ashland's homeless residents get back on their feet.
It may not look like much now, but under a new project, this regular motel in Ashland will soon be home to a brand new state-of-the-art homeless shelter. The City Council recently approved a $700,000 pandemic relief grant for the Northwest Wisconsin Community Services Agency, or NWCSA, to repurpose the Ashland Motel along Highway 2 into a full-time shelter. Mayor Deborah Lewis says the shelter will provide resources to those experiencing homelessness in the community, something that she says isn't as widely available in Ashland yet. Now that the NWCSA has received grant money, they say they plan to make the shelter accessible and welcoming. Millie Roundsville, CEO of NWCSA, says the shelter will focus on providing a temporary home while giving people that stay there proper resources.
But really an opportunity to kind of relax, you're safe, you're taken care of, and then getting back to your life, finding permanent housing of your own, and hopefully somebody we won't see again.
Brownsville says they hope to have the shelter up and running by sometime this winter. Mayor Lewis says she hopes the brand new homeless shelter can help those experiencing homelessness in Ashland get back on their feet.
Thanks, Quinn. According to the City Council, those living at the shelter will be required to work with a case manager and enroll in a program to work toward getting a steady job and finding affordable housing. Coming up at 10, we'll hear from Ashland's mayor about why this is needed in Northwest Wisconsin right now. Well, many here in the Northland are no strangers to having a gun in the house, but according to the nationwide children's organization, unlocked guns pose risks and consequences for children and teenagers, such as accidental injuries or even death. CBS 3's Abigail Smith spoke with a Duluth man about his new invention he hopes will save lives.
Locked and not loaded. Gregory Walgren invented a new patented gun lock called Task Lock. It's stuffed inside of a barrel marked by its bright orange lock, an idea that spawned from hoping to keep kids like his grandchildren safe.
I don't want my grandchildren playing in homes that have unlocked guns. And I think I've got the solution.
Walgren says guns have always been a part of his life, but keeping children's safety in mind, he wanted to invent a gun lock that is both efficient and doesn't wear the gun down.
It allows you to take the magazine out, rack the action. Because the sights are above the lock, you can practice your sight picture. And you can run your slide stop, your safety, magazine drop.
Walgren says his next steps are to pitch it to more companies like Master Lock so everyone can use the new safety lock. Safety locks that Superior Police Officer Jago says are extremely important around kids and teenagers.
Upwards of 40% of those unintentional child deaths related to firearms between the ages of 11 and 14 we're not even in the home that the child lives in, but in a friend's home. So it's really important for those child locks to be applied to those guns, even if you don't have children.
Jago adds that any gun holder should consider any gun safety tools like owning a gun case, lockbox, gun safes, and of course, gun locks.
Walgren says his next step is pitching his invention to Master Lock, and he has already approached organizations like the National Rifle Association, Ruger, and the Veterans Administration in Washington, D.C., to name a few. The court denied Derek Chauvin's request to have a public defender represent him in an appeal. The former Minneapolis police officer was sentenced to 22.5 years in prison for the murder of George Floyd. He is planning to appeal that conviction and sentence on 14 grounds. The Minnesota Supreme Court denied Chauvin's request for a public defender, saying he has not established he's entitled to one. The decision was made after reviewing information about Chauvin's debts and assets. No word yet on when Chauvin may file for an appeal. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, growing big pumpkins and building an even bigger friendship. How two unlikely Duluthians came together next.
Today's airport high temp 69 degrees. The normal is 58. Warmer than normal temperatures like that will be with us for the next several days. And coming back into our picture, well, we've had clouds the past couple of nights, yes, but now those clouds could start leaking a little bit of rain beginning tomorrow. We'll talk about the odds after our break.
Not all internet is created equal. If you want internet that's even faster than advertised, if you want Wi-Fi on Mega Blast, if you want enough power to power all the things, that's asking for more than a lot. That's demanding extreme, and you deserve it.
Seeing the joy that people feel when they share a meal with family and friends, that's why we do this. The laughter of kids around the table, the thrill of families driving through for a treat, the delight of not having to cook, and instead letting us safely serve you. It all comes back to taking care of each other. And for that, we'll be here with your favorites, and always a smile.
Have you been thinking about selling your home? If you've been putting off some of those interior updates and projects, now is the perfect time to start setting goals for yourself. Visit yournorthlandhome.com for a list of ideas on what to organize, clean, or upgrade in order to get the best bang for your buck. Inventory is low and buyers are still in the market, which makes now a great time to sell. If you'd like more guidance on how to get your home ready to list, schedule a private consultation with the JS Realty team today.
The Royal Enfield Bullet was designed in 1955 and not updated until 2008. It takes an experienced hand to keep one running. I've ridden in the rain and the snow, but prefer not to. That's why motorcycles and meteorology go together so well. It also takes an experienced hand to make an accurate riding forecast. As our region's longest-serving meteorologist, I think I have the touch needed to get it right.
Watch Dave Anderson weeknights at 5, 6, and 10.
I remember my son was going to grow up without a father.
I didn't think someone at 23 could be diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was probably the healthiest I had been in my life.
Early detection of a melanoma saved my life.
I survived testicular cancer because of early detection.
I survived cancer not once but twice because of early detection.
During the pandemic, you may have delayed or canceled routine cancer screenings. It's time to get those appointments back on the books. Early detection saves lives.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Epilepsy can affect anyone with a brain.
It does not discriminate.
If you have a brain,
you can get epilepsy.
But here's something that's just as important to know.
Anyone with a brain can affect epilepsy.
So let's use our brains to do just that.
Let's change the way people think about epilepsy.
To find cures.
Because if all of us can get epilepsy,
all of us can end epilepsy.
We just need to use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains to end epilepsy.
Now, the CBS 3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, we've had fog by the lake like the last 3 nights. Tonight will be the 3rd night. And even when it's foggy around our Northland, the region's beauty still shines. Here's a picture from Hayes Scriven, the guy who runs Split Rock Lighthouse. He had it lit up early this morning because up there they had one of those national morning news shows going live from up there. And so Split Rock can cut the fog. That's what it was designed for, huh? Every time it lights up, it is very beautiful. Well, you know, if that was still working to save ships, it would have to light up tonight because, again, we're looking at a fog advisory from Carleton County up the North Shore. Hopefully this is the last night, and then things become a little less foggy and perhaps a little more cloudy and a little more rainy through the weekend. We're going to talk about the odds of precip coming down as early as tomorrow in just a bit. Current conditions, airport, 59 degrees the temp, 87% humidity, easterly southeasterly wind 9 miles per hour, and air pressure at 30.21 inches of mercury. Current temps, well, talking about if you still have an ancient mercury thermometer, they're registering mid to upper 60s in the UP, and we're going 58 to 70 in northern Wisconsin. Superior still remains the cool spot. Hayward continues to be the warm spot. That's the way it's rolled for the last hour. Current temps in Minnesota go from the upper 50s in Cook County to the low 70s over towards Itasca County and Koochiching County as well. This is the range of temps we've had past couple of days, and I think they'll stay the next couple of days, too. All right, today we start with the Doppler down towards the south. This low-pressure system taking shape and moving towards the northeast may touch our region over the next couple of days with its northern fringes. So here's one low helping to bring us our rain chance starting tomorrow. It is backed up by 2 more coming out of the west, neither one overly powerful. This one really just a trough, a baby low-pressure system. But the 3 of them coming together bring us a rain chance from Thursday through Sunday. And by the time things are done early Monday morning, maybe we will have another ½ inch to inch of rain. That's about a ¼ inch every day. Well, once these 2 lows do pass on Sunday, higher pressure builds in on Monday to chase away that rain. Tonight, temperature-wise, warmer than normal. We'll be in the 50s in Minnesota with a mostly cloudy sky up above us. In Wisconsin and Michigan, we'll have a partly cloudy sky, and those holes could let enough heat go out that folks there get their low temps in the low 50s rather than the mid ones. Tomorrow, warmer than normal for Wisconsin and the UP. Partial sunshine, 30% rain chance, 68 to 70 for the temps. Minnesota numbers will be around 65 by the lake, upper 60s to 72 inland, 20% chance for rain in this part of the world. But we're going to bump those odds up to 50-50 shots come Friday and Saturday. Drop it to a 40% chance on Sunday. High temps this week stay in the 60s. Overnight low temps will run about 48 to 55. This time of year, Kristen, we're supposed to have highs around 58. So warmer than normal conditions. We've had them almost all summer. They will continue for another week.
All right. And I mean, it sounds like that's all right because we've heard about plenty of events that are happening throughout the weekend. There's hunting going on. So I think the calm weather is okay for now.
Calm, but perhaps a little bit wet. So
all right.
Bring an umbrella.
Bring an umbrella.
While
there
you're hunting. Nah, that doesn't work.
At least rain boots.
There you go.
Thanks, Dave.
And a poncho.
Yes. Well, things are about to get spooky at Duluth's Lake Superior Zoo. The attraction is preparing for its annual Boo at the Zoo event. First things first, decor. It wouldn't be Halloween at the zoo without a giant pumpkin. And today, local gardener Danny Tanner delivered the colossal squash. It's symbolic for the start of spooky season and the annual event. Boo at the Zoo offers trick-or-treating, food trucks, a pumpkin patch, games and activities, and more. It's happening every Saturday during the month of October. Well, in addition to growing his own giant pumpkins, Tanner is mentoring a young gardener in Duluth. For the past few years, 12-year-old Paul Wolf has been meeting with Tanner to learn the secrets of growing a giant pumpkin. Paul's prize pumpkin this season weighs about 400 pounds. It's been growing for the past 8 months and will soon be ready to be harvested. His pumpkin won't be on display at the Lake Superior Zoo like his mentors just yet, but Paul has the perfect spot picked out to showcase the fruit of his labor.
We take it down the road to my neighbor's house, who has a big, beautiful lawn. We put it right in the front yard so the whole street can see it.
Both Wolf and Tanner say some of the secrets to growing a giant pumpkin are constant sunlight, choosing the right seeds, and digging a big enough hole. We'll hear more from the duo about their unlikely friendship coming up tonight at 10. Well, Kelly's here now with what's coming up in sports tonight. I would say trying to move that pumpkin is a sport in itself.
It is.
Oof,
Do you think pumpkin carving is a sport?
I think so. It's hard.
Remember I shouldn't say we. I carved that pumpkin last year on the floor in the newsroom.
Yes.
It was quite,
I watched.
It was let's just say management wasn't happy about that mess. All right. Well, welcome back, Christy. Welcome back to
Thank
UMD
you.
men's and women's hockey back to Duluth this weekend. Sports is next.
Join us weeknights for Live at 5 as we go around the Northland city by city.
When severe weather hits, tune to CBS 3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night. CBS 3 live cams brought to you by KohlerChef.com. Now featuring the Kohler Express Deal online buying solution. KohlerChef.com. A better way to buy.
When you have a faculty and a group of people in a school that care about me and want me to succeed in life, it really increases your self-confidence, your enthusiasm about school, and that's LSC.
Eric Paulson here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and discoverwisconsin.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the Cabin Podcast, available wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Hi, Gail King here, inviting you to join us every morning right here on CBS. We'll have the important stories and the interviews, all the news that matters really, and best of all, we'll have a good time together. We like to do that. And now you can find us anytime you want on the new Paramount Plus app. So we'll see you every morning right here on CBS. I thought that one was pretty good.
Doesn't really matter who you are, where you live. You have a 20 family.
People reach a crisis moment and they don't see any other way out.
Suicide is the fourth leading cause of death for people ages 25 to 34. People struggle with it every day.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Tiffany. If you or your loved one struggles with their mental health and or thoughts of suicide, no, you are not alone. Reach out for help and talk to someone.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear. Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Calling all Bulldogs. Do you consider yourself a diehard UMD Bulldog fan? Send a picture of you or you and your crew all decked out in your Bulldog attire for a chance to be the My9 Sports Bulldog Fan of the Week. Follow the My9 Sports Facebook page and post your pictures there to be entered into our weekly random drawings. Each Fan of the Week will be showcased in our My9 Sports UMD Athletics Broadcast of the Week. The My9 Sports Bulldog Fan of the Week is brought to you by the Duluth Tap Exchange.
When you watch CBS 3, you get up-to-date team coverage. Online, on your phone, and on the air.
6 o'clock this evening as we enter the overnight.
Right down to your neighborhood. For local weather coverage you can trust, tune to CBS 3. Get your news on the go, the CBS 3 mobile app. Now, CBS 3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
Exhibition game is done, and it's time for the real thing, and this time we get fans in the stands. UMD prevailed 4-2 in Sunday's exhibition game against the Wisconsin Badgers in front of a decent crowd in Chippewa Falls. That crowd, as you can imagine, will not even compare to what is expected this weekend as the Dogs are welcomed home to a full-capacity crowd at Amsoil for the first time since 2020.
The guys are excited about those opportunities. They're excited about playing here at home on Saturday for the first time in a long time with people and family, and hopefully there's a lot of energy, and the players will feed off that. I mean, I think they did a great job last year, without fans. I thought the emotion and intensity of the games didn't really change, but I'm sure it could have been at a higher level when you have the fans in the building. So hopefully we give them something to cheer about.
Puck drops Friday in Bemidji and Saturday in Duluth. Saturday's game will be on the My9 Sports Network. Well, if you're going to make mistakes, you may as well make them early on. But for UMD women's hockey, the mistakes were pretty few and far between in the team's first series of the year at Mankato. The Dogs came out hot Friday night, scoring, count them, 7 unanswered goals against the Mavs. 4 of those goals came courtesy of Naomi Rogie and Gabby Hughes. Saturday, the team was shut down by the team that handedly beat Fridays, falling 4-2, earning the team a split in their first series of the 2021 season.
I love lessons, and that's a tough early season lesson for all of us. That games will be different from Friday to Saturday, whether it's a grittier game sometimes Saturday because the speed is down for both teams, whatever it might be, or it's penalties. You know, one team gets a lot Friday, the other one gets a lot Saturday. We just have to be ready for all that stuff.
We were ready and focused for both games. It just sometimes it doesn't bounce your way, and got to be ready for whatever they throw at you. And I think Saturday that was something that we struggled with, was not handling what the refs were throwing at us and what the game was throwing at us in the second period.
A big silver lining was UMD's power play unit. The Dogs scored 2 goals with the man advantage.
You know, there's nothing better than getting that game experience. We can simulate it at practice. We work on it nearly every single day. But when you get in games and then you're able to have success, it's awesome. So they're a confident group.
UMD welcomes in Minnesota for the first home series of the 2021 season this weekend. Puck drops at 6:01 Friday and 3:01 on Saturday. It's been a tense week for the front office of the Green Bay Packers after star cornerback Jair Alexander went down in Sunday's win over the Steelers. Alexander's injury status still has not been released as they determine the best course of action with his shoulder injury. Today, head coach Matt LaFleur's press conference, he said that there is a possibility that the shoulder injury would require surgery, which would likely end his season. We'll have more from LaFleur coming up tonight at 10. But on a happier note, hockey is back in Duluth, and so are the fans this weekend.
Very exciting.
Saturday, My9 Sports. Tune in if you can't be there.
Don't miss it.
Don't miss it.
Thanks, Kelly. Tonight on the CBS 3 News at 10, the St. Louis County landfill is nearing its capacity on the amount of trash it can hold. Tonight, we'll take a deeper look into how city and environmental leaders plan to make sure the area's garbage has a safe place to go. Well, Dave, do people need to grab their raincoats tonight?
I don't think tonight, no, but you'll have to drive cautiously along the North Shore as another fog advisory goes into effect. Now, tomorrow there is a 20 to 30% chance for rain showers, but I think there'll be light things, so raincoat optional tomorrow. If you're brave enough to go bareheaded, you know, do that. Otherwise, wear your rain slicker and a rain cap on Friday, Saturday perhaps, as the odds for showers go up towards 50%, and then winds back down to 40% by Sunday, in turn followed by sunshine returning in time to start the work week next week.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you at 10.